Let me tell you something. When they say the most dangerous time for a woman is when she's pregnant or trying to leave, this is exactly what they mean. Raesha Heard was both. And the man who killed her, he'd already done this before. Different woman, different city, same ending, and nobody stopped him. Raesha Heard, 31 years old, mother of 2 boys, daughter, sister, the kind of woman who made every room feel warmer just by walking in. She grew up in DeKalb County, Georgia, surrounded by the kind of love most people spend their whole lives searching for. Family dinners, laughter that echoed through the house, a father who adored her, and a mother who showed her what strength looked like. Even as an adult, Raesha stayed close to home, helping out, raising her boys with that same warmth and patience she learned growing up. Her family called her Rain. Started when she was a teenager, and it fit her perfectly. Rain was soft but powerful, the kind of person who could turn your worst day around with just a smile. Her friends would tell you she poured light into every space she entered. And her sons, girl, those boys were her entire world. Birthday parties, school drop-offs, bedtime prayers, they knew without a doubt that they were loved, that they mattered, that their mama would move heaven and earth for them. Raesha wasn't trying to be famous, wasn't chasing riches. She was building something real, stability, love, a life that made sense. She was doing everything right. And then someone walked into that peaceful life and shattered everything. His name was Justin Rene Lewis. Online, he went by Muzik Cali, aspiring rapper, social media personality, always chasing that next level of fame, trying to prove he belonged in rooms with the big names. You'd see him in videos with DJ Khaled, clips floating around with Diddy in the background. To people scrolling through Instagram, he looked like he was on his way up. Talented, charismatic, confident.
Lately I've been focused on my craft. Call me young Dex the way I'm locked up in my lab. On this road to riches, I just hope I never crash. I know it's hard to make it out in this bucket full of crabs. It's sad, but right now I'm trying to level up. A real go-getter. I went got it on a mega bus. I should do my documentary on how I'm coming up. All I see is victory and gains.
But behind all that charm was something else, insecurity. The kind that needs constant validation, the kind that can't handle rejection. He wanted to be somebody so bad he'd do anything to feel like he had power. When Raesha met Justin, she saw potential. She thought maybe this was the partner she'd been waiting for, a man with vision, someone who wanted more out of life. In the beginning, everything felt right. He spoiled her with attention, posted her proudly, talked about building a future together. The connection was magnetic. But as time went on, that charm started cracking. The same ambition that drew her in revealed something darker. Justin wasn't just confident, he was controlling. He needed to know where she was, who she was with, why she didn't answer fast enough. Little by little, the laughter faded. Arguments replaced affection. Jealousy replaced trust. Emotional manipulation became the norm. Raesha's friends noticed the shift, but she brushed it off. She thought he was just protective. She believed love could fix it. She believed in him. What Raesha didn't know was that Justin Lewis carried a past far darker than any of his lyrics. A past that had already claimed another woman's life. Back in 2017, Justin had been married to a woman named Sydney Dorr. She was only 25 years old, beautiful, full of life, hopeful about her future. But that hope ended one night when Sydney was found shot to death inside her car, parked outside an apartment complex in New Orleans. Police responded to the scene and found her slumped over the wheel, lifeless. The case was ruled a homicide, but no one was ever charged. Not even Justin.
She was married to Justin for 5 years. He was really abusive to her. He fought her a lot. Like, he gave her black eyes. He put her in the hospital. She had to have staplers in her head. Like, say if she get like pretty and stuff, he a fighter for that.
As a family, did y'all ever talk about getting her away from him? I mean, seeing her with bruises, black eyes, all of that?
All the time.
5 years of marriage, 5 years of violence, control, and fear, black eyes, hospital visits, staples in her head because he beat her that badly.
She loved him so much. I think she had hope and dreams that he would change his ways, and he never did.
And on May 18th, 2017, Sydney was found dead, shot, in her car, engine still running. She'd just gotten off work as a waitress.
We all instantly knew he had something to do with it because, like my cousin said, she had no problems with nobody. She was loved. She was adored by everybody.
Her family says the case went cold after the only witness and neighbor refused to testify. No charges, no arrests, no justice. To this day, Sydney's death remains unsolved. But here's where it gets chilling. 2 young women, both connected to the same man, both shot, both found in or near their cars, both gone too soon. 2 families left broken, and 1 man at the center of it all. So the question becomes, if law enforcement had actually done their job in 2017, if they'd listened to Sydney's family, if they'd investigated the abuse, if they'd held him accountable, would Raesha Heard still be alive today? Did their inaction pave the way for another woman to die 6 years later? Moving on to Georgia, Raesha had no idea what kind of past Justin carried. Or maybe she heard whispers and chose to believe the man standing in front of her instead. And that's the cruel truth about abuse, isn't it? It doesn't start with violence, it starts with charm. And by the time you see the danger, you're already too deep. Things started falling apart after Raesha found out she was pregnant. For most mothers, that moment is filled with joy. For Raesha, it became the beginning of her worst nightmare. When she told Justin the news, his reaction wasn't excitement, it was rage. He didn't want another child, didn't want the responsibility. He started threatening her, pressuring her to terminate the pregnancy. She refused. That's when the threats turned into violence. A few months before her death, Justin tried to shoot her. Let that sink in. He pulled a gun on the mother of his unborn child and tried to end her life. The only reason Raesha survived that night was because the clip fell out of the gun before he could fire. He even admitted it later, bragged about it actually. Said the only thing that stopped him was a malfunction. Imagine that, standing face to face with someone you once loved, knowing they just tried to kill you. And the only reason you're still breathing is because of a mechanical failure. But Raesha didn't go to the police. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was fear, maybe it was love, maybe she believed he'd calm down. Or maybe, like so many victims of domestic violence, she thought protecting her unborn child meant staying silent. Silence that gave her abuser more power, silence that would cost her everything. What Raesha was trapped in was the textbook cycle of abuse. Tension builds, explosion happens, apology follows, things calm down, then it repeats. It starts with words, turns into intimidation, and ends in violence. And the more she forgave, the more he believed he owned her. As the months went on, her friends noticed her pulling back. Her social media posts slowed down, her smile dimmed. She stayed close to her parents' home, maybe sensing that danger was circling closer. Her father worried, but she always reassured him. "I'm fine, Daddy, everything's fine," but everything was not fine. The signs were everywhere. Fear, distance, the quiet resignation of someone just trying to survive one day at a time. Raesha had built a life full of love, but she was living under the shadow of a man who only knew how to destroy. And soon, just like Sydney Dorr 6 years earlier, Raesha would face the same fate, trapped in the crosshairs of a man who had already proven what he was capable of. A man who didn't just take lives, he erased futures. October 11, 2025. Early evening in DeKalb County, Georgia. The sun was fading, casting that orange glow over Kelly Chapel Road. The kind of quiet, ordinary evening that gives no warning of what's about to happen. Raesha had just returned to her parents' home after picking up groceries. By now, her pregnancy was showing. Her 8-year-old son was right beside her, helping carry the bags from the car. One of those simple family moments that mean everything. The kind you never imagine will be your last. As she lifted another bag from the trunk, a familiar car pulled into the driveway. It was Justin Lewis, her ex-boyfriend, the father of her unborn child, the man she'd been trying to keep distance from. Neighbors later said there was no shouting at first, no warning, just tension. He stepped out, approached her quickly, and whatever words were exchanged were swallowed by the sound of 5 gunshots. The first bullet struck her in the back as she tried to turn away. Another hit her chest, one tore through her leg. The final bullet went to her head. She collapsed beside the car. Groceries spilled out across the driveway. Bags of fruit, canned goods, milk, things meant for dinner now mixed with blood on the pavement. Her 8-year-old son stood frozen watching everything happen in real time. The sound of gunfire echoed through the neighborhood as he screamed for help. Inside the house, her parents ran out to the driveway only to find a sight no parent should ever see. Their daughter on the ground, their grandson crying beside her.
DeKalb police have launched a search to track down a man who shot and killed a young mother. Family members tell us Raesha Heard was ambushed and murdered at her parents' home on Kelly Chapel Road. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor has the story from the neighborhood where the shooting happened.
DeKalb police say someone ambushed Mom Raesha Heard as she and her family were getting out of the car and started shooting. The gunfire was so pronounced it could be heard across the street where Yolanda Bethea lives.
It was 6 shots. I knew it was a gun. I knew it wasn't a firecracker. The next time I looked out the window, that's when I started seeing the police cars and the ambulance and stuff.
The scene was chaos, disbelief, horror. A neighbor's doorbell camera had captured everything, the car pulling up, the shots, the frantic moments after. Within minutes, police and paramedics arrived, but there was nothing they could do. Raesha was gone before she could even be taken to the hospital. The coroner's report would later confirm it. 5 gunshot wounds, back, chest, leg, head. As her family screamed in anguish, Justin Lewis sped away, leaving behind a shattered family and a child who would never forget what he saw.
Family members are so devastated they are too upset to talk about the murder. Sources close to the investigation tell us Raesha was pregnant and her 8-year-old son watched in horror as his mother was gunned down.
Now here's where it gets absolutely infuriating. He didn't turn himself in. He didn't hide out quietly. Instead, he went on the run and made a mockery of the pain he caused. For the next 10 days, Justin used social media like it was his personal stage. He posted, he liked comments. He even went live, claiming innocence and acting like people were just spreading lies about him.
It's a girl I used to mess with, you feel me? Like, so, I don't know what to say about that. I feel like if they people felt like this, they spreading the rumors through the internet.
A girl he used to mess with. That's how he described the mother of his unborn child, the woman he just murdered.
Crazy how everybody try to bring you down when they really don't even know what's going on.
Oh, so now he's the victim. Make it make sense.
So the girl who got killed, that wasn't even your baby mama?
Nah. The one from now, like the one that they saying, it could have been a possibility, you feel me?
So that was your current girlfriend?
Nah, I ain't got no girlfriend at all. You feel me? Only thing is my wife. That's the only girl, you feel me? Ever, my wife.
He denied being the father, acted like her life meant nothing, said the only woman who ever mattered was his wife. The same wife who was found shot to death in her car 6 years earlier. And here's what'll really get you. While Raesha's family was posting their heartbreak online, Justin was right there, scrolling through their pain, tapping like on the very post mourning the woman he killed.
And I just feel like I just want justice for her.
Justice that Raesha Heard's best friends say is coming too slowly. The young mother of 2 boys who's described as the life of the party.
Words couldn't explain how bad it hurt for them to have witness that. It's unexplainable. It's so hard.
Both the family and Rashida's friends say they know who shot her. Keep in mind, several of the family members were at the house when the deadly shooting occurred. DeKalb police say they have identified a suspect, but they are not yet ready to release his name.
But Justin, he kept going. He's doing a lot on his Instagram. He's texting this. He's texting him.
On his Instagram.
He's texting this. He's texting him.
Yeah, he wants to go viral from this. So, yes, we know who it is.
It was like he enjoyed taunting them, reminding them he was still out there free. This wasn't just cruelty, this was psychological domination. The final attempt of an abuser to control the narrative. The arrogance after violence. The thrill of power. That God complex that makes some killers feel untouchable, but he wasn't untouchable. On October 19, 2025, 10 days after the murder, police finally caught up with him. He was found in Forest Park, Georgia, hiding out but still active online. When officers surrounded him, he didn't resist, didn't confess, just acted like a man who believed the world owed him understanding. He was arrested and booked into the DeKalb County jail without bond.
Yesterday, DeKalb police arrested and charged Justin Lewis in connection to Raesha Heard's death. Family members say they've now focused on saying their goodbyes to Raesha now that a suspect is in custody.
It's been very, very much a relief for our family to know that he's been captured and we don't have to be in fear of him or any antics.
That night, for the first time since the shooting, Raesha's family slept. Not peacefully, not without pain, but they slept knowing the man who destroyed their world was finally behind bars. Her sister later said, "We just didn't want another family to feel what we felt. It wasn't joy, it was relief. The kind that comes from knowing the monster is finally in a cage, even if the damage he caused can never be undone." The house on Kelly Chapel Road still bore the marks of that night, dried blood near the carport, bullet holes in the driveway. Her parents, still in disbelief, had to explain to two young boys why their mother wasn't coming back. The youngest couldn't understand it. The older one didn't have to ask. He'd seen it happen. And as the news spread, the community grieved. People couldn't wrap their minds around how someone could kill the mother of his child and then spend 10 days online pretending he was the victim. To the world, it was just another domestic violence case. To those who knew her, it was an irreplaceable loss. A bright, loving woman silenced in the most brutal way imaginable. Meanwhile, Raesha's besties who have known her since 9th grade say they will miss so much about her.
She always had a smile, a big smile. She touched a lot of people's lives. She had a lot of friends, and she was just so loving and caring.
Justin Lewis may have thought he was untouchable, but the footage, the witnesses, and the family's relentless pursuit of justice told another story. His arrogance may have kept him visible, but it also made him easier to find. When he was finally captured, the weight of what he'd done began to settle. The same fans who once cheered for him as a rapper now turned against him as a killer. For Raesha's family, his arrest didn't bring peace. It brought quiet, that hollow kind of calm that follows chaos. The kind where you can finally close your eyes for a few hours, even though the pain will still be waiting in the morning. They had lost their daughter, their sister, their mother, their friend. But at least for now, her killer was no longer free. But the story doesn't end there. Because while Justin sat in jail, Sydney's family was watching. And they had something to say.
You killed my sister. You know you did it. Ain't nobody got to lie on you. You killed my sister. Look at you just sitting right there looking guilty as because he's guilty, y'all. Look at his face. Look at his face, y'all. Look how guilty he is.
Hear it in your voice how painful it's been.
If you notice, when I kept saying, you killed my sister, you killed my sister, he never once denied it and said, I didn't do it.
He never denied it. Just sat there. Silent, guilty.
I didn't think that he had the guts and the audacity.
She couldn't even finish. Because when news broke that Justin was a suspect in Georgia, it ripped open wounds that never healed. She says people blew up her phone when she got word that Lewis was also a suspect in the murder case in Georgia.
Open wounds, and it's just like I had to relive everything over.
But this time, DeKalb County police had enough to charge him. He was arrested last Wednesday, found about 30 minutes away in a neighboring county. Justin Lewis remains behind bars, charged with malice murder. In Georgia, that carries serious weight. We're talking life in prison or decades behind bars. He was denied bond, which means he sits and waits while the legal system moves at its own pace. The evidence against him? Overwhelming. Doorbell camera footage, eyewitnesses, his own family members present at the scene. The police report detailing the threats, the prior attempt on her life, his own admission that the only reason he didn't kill her months earlier was because the clip fell out of his gun. And let's not forget, he spent 10 days online incriminating himself. Every post, every like, every live stream became part of the case against him. His arrogance built the prosecution's case better than any detective could. At last check, he's awaiting a preliminary hearing. No trial date set yet, but the wheels of justice are turning. Slowly but turning. The death of Raesha Heard wasn't an isolated act of violence. It was part of a pattern. And that's what makes this whole thing even more devastating. 6 years earlier, in 2017, Justin Lewis's first wife, Sydney Dorr, was found shot to death in her car in New Orleans. No one was charged. Her family pleaded for justice, telling police about the years of beatings, the hospital visits, the staples in her scalp from his attacks. But nothing happened. Her case faded into silence. filed away, forgotten by the system. And now years later, another woman tied to the same man lay dead. This time caught on camera, this time with witnesses, this time they couldn't ignore it.
We really felt like they dropped the ball. They would have paid more attention to her case. This young lady at Georgia would have never lost her life.
If they had taken Sydney's death seriously, Raesha's relatives said she might still be here. That's not speculation, that's fact. Because the warning signs were everywhere. The abuse, the violence, the threats, and they did nothing. It's a painful reminder of how ignored warning signs often end in repeat tragedy. How many times do we hear this same story? Woman reports abuse. Police don't take it seriously. Woman ends up dead. And then everyone asks, how did this happen? Like, let's be real, we know how it happened. The system failed. Again, so relationship violence can happen to anybody. It just kind of goes to show that this kind of stuff is happening in our communities and it's real.
It is, and it's happening every day. There are millions of women and children who are involved in domestic situations where their very lives are in danger. And so what we want to do as citizens, as friends, as family members is just be alert and ask the question. There is no harm in asking someone in privacy, are you okay? Is something going on? Do you need something? Are you being hurt? And allowing that person the safe space to answer those questions. Because the more we keep it under the covers, the more we keep shame around it, the more people who will be victimized and the fewer people that we can reach for help.
But hey, let me tell you something. Experts in domestic violence say the most dangerous moment for a victim is when she's pregnant or planning to leave. The abuser's fear of losing control becomes unbearable. That threat to their power, it can turn deadly. That's exactly when Raesha's life was stolen. When she was preparing to move forward without him. When she was carrying his child but refusing to stay trapped. Her family said she'd been trying to pull away for about 6 weeks before she was killed. She made a concerted effort to put her foot down. She even attempted to get a temporary protection order. She was trying, and it cost her her life. Left behind are 2 little boys whose lives changed forever that October evening. The eldest, only 8 years old, saw his mother's final moments. He watched the man who was supposed to protect their family pull a trigger 5 times. That image doesn't just fade. That trauma doesn't just heal with time. Now he and his younger brother must navigate life without her love, without her guidance, without her warmth. 2 empty chairs at the dinner table, a family friend said. One for their mother, one for the baby sister they'll never meet. Raesha was 2 months pregnant when she was killed. That child never got a chance, never got to feel sunlight, or hear laughter, or know what it's like to be held by a mother who would have loved them fiercely. 3 lives stolen, 2 boys left to grow up with a hole that can never be filled. A GoFundMe page was set up to help cover therapy, schooling, and funeral costs. The community trying to rebuild what can't be replaced. Trying to give those boys a fighting chance at a future their mother would have wanted for them. Heard's family says that they are thankful that Lewis is in jail, as they feared for their own safety. At last check, he's awaiting a preliminary hearing. Now the domestic violence hotline. It's available 24/7 if you ever need a listening ear or need to report something. That number is 1-800-7-997-233. Raesha believed in love. She believed in family. She believed people could change. But the man who promised to protect her destroyed both her and the family she was trying to build. And maybe, just maybe, if someone had listened years earlier when Sydney's family was begging for justice, if the New Orleans Police Department had actually investigated her death, if they'd held Justin Lewis accountable the first time, 2 women would still be alive. 2 families would still be whole. 3 children would still have their mothers. But that's not what happened. The system failed Sydney, and 6 years later, that failure cost Raesha her life. So what do we do with that? How do we move forward knowing this keeps happening? We pay attention. We ask the hard questions. We believe women when they say they're in danger. We hold abusers accountable the first time, not after the body count rises. We stop treating domestic violence like a private matter and start treating it like the public health crisis it is. Because Raesha Heard deserved better. Sydney Dorr deserved better. And the next woman trapped in this cycle, she deserves better too. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That number again is 1-800-7-997-233. You can also text START to 88788. You don't have to stay silent. You don't have to stay trapped. Help is out there. Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already because we post new content every single day. Stories like this one, stories that need to be told. I'll see you in the next one.